Guys, we were discussing a week ago my surprise that Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather bombed so poorly that it got canceled. That did surprise me. In the world of celebrity, in the world of boxing right now, they're just doing celebrity boxing, or at least a lot of that. And it seems to work, right? That just seems to work. But that one was a miss. And it surprised me. So here's the question. Here's the question. What Floyd Mayweather fight does work right now? Who do you want to see Floyd fight? And you don't need to say a Canelo or a Triple G. You can. You can. By the way, Floyd would do just fine with those guys. By the way, he would. You don't have to, though. Very open. You can say my cousin Bob. I mean, there's anything because that's kind of what Floyd's looking for. And I'll listen. But if you don't have an answer, Floyd's career is over. I mean, you see where that would be a problem. And I don't know that Floyd would have a problem with that. Floyd openly retired and then got the bright idea that I can walk in there and grab a few more paychecks because people are interested in what I do. There's no knock to Floyd. I'm just asking the question of who would you want to see in box? Conor again? George Masvidal? Khabib? I mean, is there a name if you're just doing a fantasy that you want to see Khabib with? Is it more? Is it one of the Paul brothers? Is it the Canelos, the Triple G, the real boxers? I don't know. I'm asking you. But when you come to the answer that, yeah, probably nobody, nothing seems interesting right now. Don't forget, that's what every single fight starts with. By every single fight, I mean in the broad stroke. Things have to really line up for a promoter to just have a fight that people want to see and go, okay, great, I'll make that fight. That's just not the way it works. You usually start at scratch. You grab two guys, you bring them together, you start putting them in the media. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And then you do it 5 times in a night. You tear the cage down, you set the cage up another week. I mean, that's just what the business is. And then you just sit there with your fingers crossed that one of these organic fights that you truly want to see before it's even signed falls into your lap. That's what the business is. I do think, just to use Floyd and Conor, I do not think we will ever see that fight again. I do think that fight works. I'm not asking for you to say biggest fight that you've ever seen. I'm just asking, would it captivate you? Would it have your interest? The Logan didn't work. There was nothing there that was competitive or that you could even stretch out. Logan is going to get destroyed, but he's not a big enough bad. You don't hate him enough that you could enjoy that. He wasn't that level of bad guy. He hadn't done enough things that you need to pay your money to watch this guy get hurt. And then secondly, Floyd is not search and destroy. Floyd go around, move around a little bit. Right? I mean, Evander Holyfield boxed Mitt Romney 3 years ago, if you guys will recall. Like, there is ways to, right? I'm sure you know how that went. Mitt Romney could have put the gloves on. It was just one of those things. And so, you go, well, what am I watching this for? It just didn't work. I do think Floyd and Conor works. And while you might sit here today and go, Chael, that's been done one time, those guys have a unique skill set. You would have to start at scratch. Let's just make the fight. It's got a little backstory. It's got a little something there. Okay, we don't come in quite at zero, but make the fight. Start holding the press conferences and see what happens. The problem is with getting that fight, both of those guys think falsely that they're worth $100 million. They think that because they already did the fight and that's what they got. Neither Conor nor Floyd was ever told the truth. Ever. That fight did not work to the way that they say that it worked. There was not 2.4 million. Stop, guys. Just stop. That fight did not work to the way that fight was told that it worked. But that includes with them. To keep that lie and to keep that secret for the idea at the time that was going to go, the idea ended up stopping. For the idea that was going to go, they just got checks written to them. Hey guys, you did 2.4 million buys. Boom, here's your check. They did not. It was a lie. But it was a strategic lie done for business reasons to promote something in LA. Totally different. I'm not going to get into it. Even Conor and Floyd do not understand that fight did not do what they think that it did. It did not. Okay? I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there before I reveal. So, What I am suggesting for you, though, if they did want to come to the table and be true partners, they wanted to find a promoter that had distribution and go, look, let's all do this together. You bring the bells and whistles. I'll bring the red corner. You bring the blue corner. Let's do this and let's all divvy it up. They could get that fight done today. The problem is they pretend to be partners. They want a guarantee. Why would you need a guarantee? I know the answer to that. You need a guarantee because you don't know how this is going to do and you don't have the balls to take the risk. I understand that. But that is what's stopping the fight. That's all I'm sharing with you. That fight would do just fine. That fight sold out 4 arenas for press conferences. One of them in the summer in Los Angeles, beautiful day, on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. 80-plus degree weather. People chose to go inside and watch 2 fighters with 0 chance of a fight breaking. I mean, it was wildly fun. Wildly fun because of Conor. Conor outshined Floyd 5-1 on that. Even worked Espinoza, and Espinoza all of a sudden became a character. I don't know that he wanted to be, but I mean, right, they were all doing stuff together. It was fun. Those guys had fun. And that is a fight that you could start if everybody was a partner. Everybody agrees here. Nobody's getting their ass kicked. We'll all go in this together and we'll all cut a fat hog. But I, as your partner, am not going to lose money. I mean, I can't make a guarantee to you. I'm just sharing with you. That's what's held that fight up. There is nothing within sports history that goes the way that went and doesn't have a part 2. Nothing ever has happened like that in sports history. That didn't get the rematch because okay. I can stop right there. That fight did not do what you were told that fight did, but it also didn't do what the athletes were told that it did. And the athletes were too much of dum-dums to realize that somebody wrote them a check for a bigger strategic play. It ended up not happening, but for a bigger strategic play, which is why we're not going to do part 2. That story works so incredibly. Conor went 30 minutes with the guy. 30 minutes. Beating him round after round. The dirty commission of Nevada stealing it from him. That story works so incredibly well for part 2. The numbers just weren't there and you didn't have partners. You had Floyd and you had Conor. Those just aren't your partners. I'm bringing that to you because there is a way to get these things done. It's just somebody kind of has to come to the table at some point and go, let's all do this together because we want to do it. We're competitors. We want to do it. I mean, this is what's making Fury and Joshua work so well. You have 2 athletes who aren't even under the same stable of contract. They want each other so bad. They told the promoters, get in a room and figure this out. That's happened many times in boxing history, but right, they could have stayed clear of each other and always use the, well, I'm in Bellator and you're in the UFC and we just couldn't get together. No, man, they sit down and figure it out. I'm putting it on the line. He's putting it on the line. You guys figure this thing out. We want to fight. It's one of those things that just makes this so compelling. And Fury cemented himself not only in the sport, in the history of the sport, no matter whatever happens, when he sat up like the Undertaker on the count of 8 against Wilder. There was so much that went into that one action, not to mention it was a deliberate, dramatic action on live TV while completely exhausted and fighting for your life against one of the scariest men out there. And Fury still decided to go into character mode and entertain the crowd. I mean, there was so many things that happened when he sat up like the Undertaker. You guys remember that? That was even what it was called on Sports Center. I mean, the comparison, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fury's dead. 6, 7, 8. Boom, he's on his feet. He's on his feet before they got to 9. He was on his feet from flat on the kid before they got to 8.5. Went out there and won the fight. I mean, it was one of those things. Fury just can't miss. Joshua got boxed in. He doesn't want to do this. That's okay. That's okay. I don't mean he doesn't want to do it. He's a competitor. He does want to do this. He's willing to walk out there and test it. Joshua knows how this is going to go. But he's willing to do it anyway because he's a competitor. Something very special in that fight. I'm jumping around a little bit, guys, but I think that the world of boxing is very interesting right now. And I don't know that we have all of the right answers. And as much as we're trying to say that this is the celebrity boxing era, there is a truth to that for sure that we can identify, but there's still a competitive era going on. And we can come out and insult boxing all we want for doing the spoof matches, but there's something else happening there too. I give boxing a very hard time. Boxing is my second favorite sport. I love boxing. I just give it a hard time because of the management and the leadership. They become easy targets. It frustrate you. But between the entertainment era and between the competitiveness of it, I'm not sure I can recall a better time to be a boxing fan.